and today I am with the fabulous Shannon Townsend. Shannon, thank you so much for joining me today. Shannon is the master of his own business. So Shannon, oh, we were just talking about you coughing. Now I'm coughing. Okay. So Shannon, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. What do you do? I'm excited to talk to you today about objection handling, but maybe you can introduce yourself better than I could.
Hey, thank you, Rebecca, for having me on. It's always a pleasure to hang around with you and get the value you bring to the table, too. So thanks for this opportunity. I started my own business about 10 years, maybe 11, and got involved in the ag industry, which I've always had a passion for. And so hooked up with a company as a distributor, a direct sales company or multi-level marketing, whichever way you want to put it. And we work directly with farmers and we try to help them make more money by using better input, higher value inputs, and increasing yield or their profit, or hopefully both. And so about 4 years ago, I got talked into adding a seed, corn and soybean seed lineup to my business. And so I brought on Jacobson hybrids. The value of both of those is they're independently owned and they're farmer owned, which to me is extremely valuable in the ag industry, that we are getting away from some of the multinational companies, some of the worldwide companies that sometimes lose sight of what the farmers are doing at the ground level. So that's kind of what I do, is I work with small independent companies that bring a lot of value to farmers.
Fabulous, fabulous. Now, Shannon, sorry, my dogs are a little... 1 second, I'm just going to open this door. Oh, goodness. It never fails. It never fails.
Kids or dogs, either way.
I know. I think they're coming around with like census to ask, like they come around to ask how many people,
Yep.
So that might be who they're barking at right now. I'm not sure. But anyways, so Shannon, I wanted to talk to you today because you are just an absolute killer when it comes to objection handling. And so I know that you've been working on that for a while. Obviously, with the different products that you sell, it's definitely something that you have to so the doorbell's ringing again. This is
I'll just go with what you got here for a minute if you want to go answer the door.
No, that's okay.
I've done 1 or 2 live streams before, but
well, I mean, I think you've done 1 million, and so have I. It seems that each Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, either there's someone with a snowblower, there's someone with a lawnmower, there's someone with a whatever the case might be. It just happens. So my apologies for that.
No,
Shannon, okay, so you're a killer when it comes to objection handling, and you have sold different types of products. When it comes to handling objections, like what would you say? How do you just come back so quickly with being able to solve people's concerns so that you could keep moving on with the conversation?
Well, I will have to start out at first. I've been terrible the first 9 years of my business. Then I came across. Well, I really got involved in the 10X movement and Brandon's teams. And
10X, just in case there's someone out there that doesn't know about the 10X movement.
Yep.
This is, I guess, how we have met each other through this 10X community. So Grant Cardone, who is, I think he owns millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate. So he has created this 10X community and this 10X movement, and it really has been amazing. So before, this is pre 10X you're talking about.
Yep. Pre 10X, I was terrible. I mean, if somebody gave me an objection or even an excuse, it was like, well, okay, I'll call you back later, or I'll send you an email, and if they told me no, okay, there's more fish in the sea, no big deal, kind of laissez-faire, and accepted what people told you. Well, got involved with Grant and Brandon's teams, and learned that there was a whole lot better way to do this, a lot better way to approach this issue. And you really come to understand once you get into Cardone U and get around the type of people that are attracted to the 10X movement of you got to handle objections, and you basically have to sidestep excuses in a way. And it comes down to the fact of any conversation you do is going to have an objection or two or three or four. It's always going to be filled with an excuse or two or three or four. And so you have to know how to handle them. You have to know how to recognize whether it's an objection or it's just an excuse that they're just trying to buy time and buy your time and waste your time. So what I came across when I started working with you and Jose was, okay, yes, it's great to acknowledge the objection or excuse, but then everybody just stopped. And it was like, wait a minute. I mean, it's great that you can acknowledge the objection, but what do you do after that? What's that next step beyond just dealing with the objection or excuse? And so it dawned on me after we'd been practicing for a while, it was like, wait a minute. I have to know how to get back on track. I have to know how to get this conversation back to what we're trying to accomplish so I can help them be successful. Because something that dawned on me before I even started with the 10X movement was anytime, if you have a service that truly works, that truly benefits people and their business, and my business, farms and ranches, you're doing them a disservice if you're not getting your products into their hands. You failed them. It's not the other way around. And so once I figured out what you had to do, it really all came together, and we've really been practicing that here the last few months. And you and me have both seen people just grow by leaps and bounds once they figure this out. But the big key is once you hear that objection or excuse, and I don't care if you're purchasing stuff, because weak salesmen, terrible salesmen will give you reasons and excuses and yada, yada, yada. So this goes for if you're purchasing things too. Take a breath, take a pause, and recognize what they're saying and digest it quickly so that you know how to approach what they've said.
Yeah.
If it's an excuse, you acknowledge it and you basically brush it aside and get back with business. If it's a true objection, you have to acknowledge it and then deal with it. But if you don't take that pause, if you don't know what you're going to say next because you didn't listen, you're going to fail every time. There's just no doubt about it. So that pause is kind of the thing we added to add on to the agreement drill so that you could get back into conversation.
Yes.
That practice is key.
And I think the pause, Shannon, the pause has been so important for me personally because I have always struggled with I've always struggled with just trying to make sure that I'm filling up the space. But filling up the space is worse than taking a pause.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the other point we got to get to is we got to take out all the fluff and all the miscellaneous crap that we keep putting into conversations. The ums and the hus and the whatever else you throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to be quiet for a second or two than it is to try to fill it with noise. It's unprofessional to fill it with noise in reality.
Well, and I think some of the things that we're learning that people don't care what you have to say.
No,
They
not really.
they care if you can solve their problem. So if
Exactly.
all you're doing is filling the space with your words rather than the words that are important to them,
Mhm.
they're gonna shut down. They're gonna stop listening, stop paying attention because all you're doing is saying words that you want, um that you want to the message that you want to get across, right?
Yep.
So Shannon, so this is the new Shannon, the old Shannon. So when did you? I guess you've been in sales. You've been doing this for a long time. When, like, let's take me back to like not baby Shannon, but when did you first start your sales career? And I guess were you handling objections back then, or how were things going? Even because I think about, so my daughter right now, she's like really excited about having a lemonade stand, and she's like going through the whole, okay, I need a sign, I need a logo, I need a, and she's excited.
Hmm.
Was that something like, were you selling when you were a kid, Shannon, or
No,
when was your first? No.
no, not really. You go back to probably high school, I guess. I had a mowing business in the summer, and
Ah,
was in 4-H and showed calves and stuff like that. So, I suppose I mean, everybody's a salesperson. That's a given, and because you're always trying to sell something, yourself, time, your products, whatever. So everybody's a salesman, just like everybody's a leader. It's what type of salesman, what type of leader you're going to be. Are you going to be somebody that's average, below average, or are you going to strive to be awesome and stellar, like a Grant Cardone, a Brandon Dawson, a Natalie Workman, Dave Robards, in that community, Peter Voog. You want to step out of the 10x community, but that's another thing is really have to work on networking with higher level people, because you cannot turn yourself into a stellar individual that can be great at sales and excel without getting around higher level people. It's impossible. Um, and I always laughed when people told me, you're the sum total of the 5 people you hang around with the most. I was like, no, that can't be true. That's crap. Nope, no, that can't be true. Well, I'll tell you, it's 1,000% true, because you get around higher level people, they hold you accountable.
yeah. And they
You know,
elevate you, right? If you're around people who are successful and who are, I mean, more successful than they elevate you for sure. Absolutely agree with that.
and you get around those higher level people, you get around more opportunities.
That too.
You
I
know,
think that's huge. That's something that we don't necessarily all think about. You go to the expensive coffee shop, go to the expensive restaurant, frequent places that there are people that could potentially be your customers, that could potentially be your clients, because the more you're able to do that, the more you're going to be visible, and the more likely they are to be interested in what you have to say, right?
well, and maybe they're not interested in what you have to do, but I bet they know somebody that is.
Yeah, exactly.
And those referrals from a high level person will carry more weight than you walking in the door as a cold call.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You
So
know,
Shannon, when it comes to handling objections, like for a small business,
Mhm.
like there's some pretty common objections. Like if you're calling someone, or if you're trying to book an appointment, or if you're trying to close a deal, there are some pretty common objections. What are some of the most common objections that you have had to overcome, or that you overcome on a regular basis, that I guess, and how do you overcome them?
Time and money are the two biggest I always come across. And I think that's probably true for most business people, because if you're in that endeavor, you're always busy being a small business or a solopreneur or whatever. You have a lot on your plate. So time is always, that's never an excuse with a business person. That is a true objection. And I think that's where, learning to handle objections as a salesperson is vital because that you, like you said earlier, you got to cut out all the miscellaneous words because you got to maximize their time. If you waste their time, you lose their respect and they're not going to want to do business with you.
Yeah.
So you have to go into it knowing that time is going to be an objection. So eliminate that objection right off the bat. Get into your presentation or get into what you are trying to accomplish with them immediately or as soon as possible so that you eliminate the time objection. If you ask for 5 minutes and they go, "Oh, I don't have 5 minutes." Great. I only need a minute. Okay.
I know I didn't ask you ahead of time, Shannon, but should we do a little objection? Should we do a little objection handling right now?
Sure, I'm game.
You want to do it? I know your game. I know your game. Shannon, I don't have time right now.
Hey, absolutely, Rebecca. I understand being a business person, you are absolutely swamped. Can you give me 5 minutes?
Shannon, that is way too expensive.
Absolutely, I agree. I thought that same thing when I had to pay for the products. But you know what? After I used them and I saw the value, this is the cheapest product you'll ever buy.
Shannon, my brother does the same thing. I'm just going to go with him.
Absolutely. I could appreciate you dealing with family. What does he sell exactly so that I can make sure I'm comparing apples to apples? And if we are, I'd like to work with you still to enhance what he's doing for you.
We actually have a trade show coming up, so I'm just going to wait.
Hey, I can appreciate that. You want to make sure you get all the information you can. Let me send over some information so that when you go to that trade show, you're making sure you are comparing everything on a level playing field. And I will call you back the day you get back.
I'm actually not the only decision maker, so I have to check with my husband.
Absolutely. I can appreciate, farms and ranches are family businesses. Is he available right now or when will he be available?
I haven't really seen any reviews about your products.
I understand completely. And part of that responsibility lands on my shoulders. The thing is, when you're dealing with small independent companies, the products always speak for themselves because the farmers are happy with what they're using. I will get you in contact with some of them so that you can feel more comfortable.
Sorry. My daughter just came into the room. Shannon, I'm so busy right now. My daughter is trying to get my attention. I don't have time for this right now.
Absolutely. I'm going to send over an email really quick. Can I give you a call in 1 hour and we can go through everything? I only need 2 minutes of your time then, and we'll make it worth your while.
Actually, if you can call my office and book an appointment, then we can chat then.
Hey, I can appreciate that. Do I have to talk to your secretary or do I need to schedule that on a Candly with you?
I don't know why you keep calling me. I don't want what you're selling.
Hey, I completely understand. I have not given you enough information or value yet, and I can definitely understand your position. What exactly are the two biggest challenges you have on your farm and ranch so that I can make sure I get the right information in your hands?
We've been using the same thing for the last 20 years. I'm not interested in changing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you ever done a test plot comparing products so that you ensure that you are getting the most value out of what you're using or not?
So great job, Shannon. So the key, I think, every single time you're agreeing with me, right? You're always agreeing. So how does that make me feel? I mean, maybe I should listen to this guy if he's gonna take what I say into account and not just try to sell me or not just try to get what he wants out of the conversation. Okay, so he's starting to agree with me. maybe I can have a conversation with him.
And that's another big key, Rebecca, as you well know, is you got to keep the conversation positive. Um, if you let it even dip a toe into being negative, the conversation's over.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be extraordinarily hard, difficult to get it back to the level that you want to get it to. So it's in agreement. You're staying positive in the conversation. You're not letting, even if they throw an attitude at you, even if they're negative with you, turn it around to the positive. Because just like you said, all of a sudden, wait a minute, it clicks. He didn't. He wasn't negative with me. He
Mm-hmm.
agreed with me. Wait a minute. It makes them stop. Makes them pause.
And be more open to continuing the conversation, right?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Negativity will shut the conversation down. So.
Yes. And we practice these things. I mean, Shannon, you've been so consistent with practicing. I think that you have been practicing obviously before you started joining us, but how has responding in a more positive, agreeable way impacted you and your business when you're handling objections?
Way beyond 10x. I can tell you that. I mean, it's
Wow.
a um, like I said before 10x, it was, I would just let them get away with having an excuse. Let them have, get away with giving me any reason to get off the phone or out of the conversation. Um, now I know how to stay in the conversation. I know how to at least get some information in their hands, even if they don't want it. At least I can get some kind of response out of them now.
Yeah.
Uh, where, like I said, I would have given up before. So just night and day, Rebecca.
And so you're so quick to respond, and there's no ums and there's no uhs. Like, how did you get to the point of being able to just like reply so quickly and know exactly how to respond and not have those gaps and breaks?
Practice. Just keep
Mhm.
practicing. If you let's see, I don't remember. I think it was Grant on one of the videos, and Cardone, you talked about, or maybe, I don't know, somewhere somebody talked about it. Even if you go 12 hours, you're rusty already. You've already started to forget some of the things you need to do. I agree with that about 95%. Here's the difference. If you can do this consistently for about 4 to 5 months, just do the agreement drill, if nothing else. All of a sudden it becomes ingrained in your mind of how to do it. So now if I take 2 or 3 days off, which I do during the summer, obviously, because we start in the mornings and I can't get on at 8:15,
Mhm.
I can still come back and do it. I can still know what I have to do in the agreement drill.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if it comes down to doing my script or something, that gets pretty ugly because I don't practice it like I should. But I've done the agreement drill so much that it's second nature to me now.
And I think like the agreement drill, what Shannon and I just did. I mean, I think that that's even something that you can try in your regular everyday life. Maybe that's why the script is it's a little bit more challenging because it's not something that you could implement necessarily with your family or your friends. But
Yep.
the agreement drill, even just getting into the habit of agreeing with people who are talking negatively or are throwing objections, or I know sometimes we'll do it with our daughter when she's when she's not interested in agreeing, or when it's a good thing. It's definitely, it works. It works.
Exactly. It's for every part of your life. It's for every phase of your life. I apologize. I'm on the move because I just realized I only got 5% left on my phone. So
Oh, that's okay.
I
All
got
good.
a power cord.
All good, Shannon. All good.
It
So,
But no, the agreement drill is going to serve you in every aspect of your life. It's going to enhance everything you do. Because like we were talking about, you are a salesman no matter what. You
Yeah.
are no matter what. So you might as well be the best salesman, the best leader you possibly can. Because it is going to make your family better. It's going to make everybody uh, stand up and take notice. So you might as well just practice it. You might as well come join us at 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain.
No, it's 7:15 Eastern. It's, oh no, sorry. Yes, you're right. 7:15 Eastern, 9:15. No,
9:15 Eastern.
say it again.
9:15
9:15
Eastern.
Eastern, 7:15 Mountain Time, 8:15 Central. We do every day. We do role play and objection handling on Clubhouse, which Clubhouse is Shannon. Okay, so you are amazing when it comes to going live. You're consistent when it comes to Clubhouse, and you know I love Clubhouse. But how have you used Clubhouse to positively impact your business?
Oh Lordy, that Clubhouse has been a absolute phenomenal opportunity. It has literally been a game changer to getting in front of more people, getting in contact, like I said, with higher level people, even because the the agriculture community on there is just rock star status for people that are trying to do better, trying to get in a community that is working on bettering agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm speaking on um, my industry, but it just comes down to the fact of when I first started on Clubhouse, there was only one other real ag room or one ag clubhouse, and so I started the second one, as far as I know, anyway. And the first few, I think 3 weeks, I only had maybe one or two people in there a night. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, I started getting frustrated. It was like, this is not worth it. It's not working. I need to go back to doing Facebook and Instagram and TikToks and all that. And I'm like, yeah, this is just, and then all of a sudden it took off. More people started coming in, and uh, there is 3 clubs on there that are absolutely rock stars on the ag side, on the agriculture side. And uh, some nights we'll have well over 120 people a night in there.
Wow.
Typically our average is right around that 60 mark, 70 mark, in and out, people coming in and out. But
Yeah.
if we have a special night where we got a special guest, or people know we're going to have a real special subject, that's when we really get the numbers in there and really have some real valuable insights and topics to discuss. But and going live uh, last year, February 2020, really good friend of mine challenged a bunch of leaders within the Conklin company, one of the businesses for my just one of the businesses I'm a distributor for,
Yeah.
and told everybody, hey, we're going to do a challenge, go 2 weeks, you go live every day. And it's like, I didn't see the value in it really. At the beginning, it was like, I going live, who wants to hear me? Who wants, I don't have anything to really say at that point. And this is pre 10X too, Rebecca. So
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, I got 2 weeks under my belt, and I just kept on rolling from there. And here we are, almost 18 months later or so, and still going live.
And it's kind of interesting, Shannon, because I don't see a whole lot of other. Maybe it's not because maybe it's because I'm not the target audience, but I don't see a whole lot of ag people using social selling to grow their business, which when you think about everything that you're doing, whether it's going live, whether it's, having a clubhouse room, whether it's whatever the case might be, it seems like you're doing a lot of the things that contribute to your growth on social media.
Mm-hmm. Well, originally I started with LinkedIn when I first started my business back in 2010, and that really propelled me forward. I avoided Facebook back then. I didn't think it was businessy enough, you might say, and so I kind of avoided Facebook back then. But LinkedIn was my big home run hitter back then, and really drove some great relationships. People that I still talk to today, even though I don't do business with them. It's just valuable to have those connections and that have those numbers in the phone book.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that we often don't consider, or we don't think about. Just because you meet someone and you can't sell to them or you can't buy from them doesn't mean that you can't still nurture that relationship. There may be opportunities in the future, or there may be referral opportunities in the future, or whatever the case might be. So there is more opportunity, even if you can't specifically do business with each other, right?
Yep, exactly. And that's the thing you have to realize. Those referrals might even be more valuable than doing business with them, realistically.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Shannon, question: with everything that is going on in your life right now, I wanted to ask you, what are you the most excited about?
Oh my. In fact, Jose joined me on my Instagram live last night, as a matter of fact. And I think he asked me this question. I don't remember, but similar question. And so, what am I excited about? I have several irons in the fire, I guess you might say. Working on buying a commercial building, which is still a thorn in my side in a way, but I'm excited that maybe we've gotten it over the hump at this point. Then we go back to the dealing with objections.
Mhm.
I've been dealing with a lot of objections on that building, trying to get the financing, trying to get everybody on the same page and agree to terms. And it's just been a challenge. But, pre 10X, pre Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson, I would have given up after the first or second time and been said no. Right now, we're on the seventh proposal. So, I'm hoping this one gets it over the line. But, I'm excited about that. That's going to be a big one to propel all of my businesses forward. In fact, if I get it, I will be partnering with a good friend of mine for another business opportunity. So, like we talked about, you get around better people, you get more opportunities. So, the other one is kind of personal, but I am interested in a certain young lady that I'm trying to build a positive relationship with. So that's kind of pretty exciting, at least for me anyway.
Very cool.
Calving season is almost done. I think we're down to 6 left out of 80. So that's always a relief to see the end of that time. But I'd say that's probably my top 3 today anyway, but that may change tomorrow.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. Congratulations. Really excited about all of those things for you. It sounds like the majority of what you're saying is you need to practice. You need to be, I think, consistent was something that I heard you say like over and over and over. The consistency, you're showing up, you're practicing, you're doing what it takes over and over and over again. And that's really how you become a professional at whatever. Oh, he's saying, I stole the question from her. I was going to say, that's my interview question. That is my interview question, but that's okay. That's okay. He's saying he stole the question from me. That's okay. It's a good question. It's a good question.
It is.
That's why. But yeah, I mean, consistency really is key. And I think it's not just key when it comes to business. It's key when it comes to being able to handle objections, when it comes to even doing the same thing on Clubhouse where two people are showing up. Well, if you do it every day, people are going to know that you're doing it every day, and they're going to start to show up every day, right? Yep. It's like just like our room too. So Shannon, tell me where people could find you if they wanted to find you. So you have a Clubhouse room. What's the name of your club on Clubhouse?
We have the Agriculture Discussion Group. Also Cattleman's Corner. You can come to either one. I run both of them actually. So I actually own two clubhouses, I guess you might say. But either one, Ag Discussion, we meet Tuesday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central, 3:30 Central on Saturdays. Just an opportunity, even if you aren't involved in agriculture, come join us because we all like to eat. I mean, everybody eats at least once a day. So feel free to come join us, to ask questions about where your food comes from, how it's grown, what we do to put that food in the grocery store for people. And we got people from all over the world that join us. Some Aussies, some Canadians. Once in a while, a guy from Egypt joins us, India. So it's a pretty diverse group on a regular basis. But and then on Sundays, of course, I host the 10X agreement drill and practice room because you and Jose do deserve at least one day off.
One day off, yeah.
So I do that on Sundays just to keep everybody, if they want to practice, come join and all that. That's at 3:30 Central also on Sundays. Instagram, I'm under Profit Maker Ag. Also on Facebook, Profit Maker Agriculture. I didn't shorten that one. So either way, LinkedIn is just my name, Shannon Townsend. So just come find me. I'm easy.
Yeah, we'll throw all your links on under this post of the live video. But yeah, I mean, so much value, so much information. Thank you so much, Shannon, for joining me today. I definitely appreciate it. If anyone is interested in reaching out to Shannon, I will throw the links below so that you know how to get a hold of him. Also, please don't forget to join my Facebook group, which is Social Selling Growth Masters. And thanks again, Shannon, for joining me. We'll see you guys next week at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much, guys.